So, welcome back. I think we had a very good selfless and adventurous meditation. So, this was all the topic today about. So, let's do something that today's topic is all about adventures with the 9 jewels. So, our PSSM has figured out 9 jewels that every person needs to understand, completely related to their higher self, not the physical body, not the physical reality. But if you want to do sadhana, if you want to achieve something more than your physical reality, so that is when you have to actually look into these 9 jewels and understand how beautiful they are. And they are like nothing new, and everything we have we have been hearing, and consistently we know that we are coming across these concepts in our day-to-day life, but we never realize that how important they are and how could they serve us. So let's see, let me share the PPT, and here you go. So it's adventures with jewels. So how many jewels we have? So we have 9 jewels. So let's go and see why they're called as jewels at least. So here the first jewel comes Atme Parabrahmam. So actually these jewels are in little Telugu, but I can actually help you understand it in English also. So it's just that sort of Aham Brahmasmi. So you yourself is the God. There is something in you, a superpower in you, is a God. So it says that a so simple example that one of the shlokas from Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya. So it says that you are your supreme source. You have that in you. So he just tells that in a cute example, with a cute example that there is a mother, and there's a baby who came out of the mother's womb. Before that, they were together in one body. And then later, when the baby came out, that doesn't mean they are still same. They are different. Two different bodies. They have become two different bodies. So when they have become two different bodies, they both have their own consciousness having, working, and they both have their physical bodies functioning. So we can't just say that if the same thing cannot be continued, the same process cannot be taken forward. But end of the day, both are human bodies. Every human body functions similarly. Everything is same. Every person breathes. So just the way here, though it's a mother body, though it's a baby body, together it's a human body. So the same way he says, it's just that the God in you is the God in me. So it's just that Aham Brahmasmi, we are gods. The end point is we are gods. So the next one is Jivude Devudu. So this is that Shivoham, the same thing. So here it's just that the first one, there is a higher consciousness, the supreme power, which is in you. So here he explains it in a way that you are the God, the supreme thing. There is a supreme thing, and the supreme thing is you. So what is that supreme thing? Your soul. Your soul is the supreme thing. So that's the first jewel. And the second jewel is the supreme thing is you. There is a supreme thing as the first jewel, and the second jewel is the supreme thing is you. So that is where he says Shivoham. And this is one of the famous saying that we actually hear, right? So it's just that human body consists of a godly source with a supreme source, the higher self, right? So the next thing is Jewel 3. It's Dehame Devalayam. I think most of Telugu people can understand, but yeah. So Dehame Devalayam means Your body is a temple. Is a body is the most divine space that you are provided with. So it's just that the first thing is there is a soul, there is a supreme power, and the second thing, you are your soul and you are that. So you possess that higher supreme power. So when you have a God in you, so obviously where does the God lies? Where does the God stays? And where can we see the God? We can see the God always in the temples, right? Just the way our body is also a greater divine space. So most of the time we hear lot many complaints, right? Not functioning body properly, most of the health issues. So like 90% of the people on this planet, has some or the other health issue, minor or major, but some or the other health issue. So it's just that ignoring their physical maintenance. Why are they ignoring it? Because they just think that this is the only body they have. And they are bored of this fact, bored of being egoistic. So it's just that we just have this body. So to function this body, we need food, we need bed. That's it we think about. So we never understand that we have layers of another infinite bodies in us. So when we have infinite bodies within us, so it's just that it's a divine space, life consciousness, a miraculous power. So when there are these many things and when we are ignoring it, when we are only with the fact of the physical body, that is when we are tired of everything. So we end up with a lot of ignorance, lot of maintenance. For example, most of us clearly know that eating meat is not a right thing for our physical bodies. But I see that most of the people just intake meat as a meal only for their health purpose. Only they have a fact, fake fact maybe, about building protein, providing protein to their bodies. So just eating flesh, just eating blood shredded food, intaking it as your meal into your body, can it make your body divine? So it's just that we are all completely know about this fact, but we ignore it based on another fact we made up for ourselves. It's just that the story we are making it for ourselves, that we need a lot of protein, so we have to eat meat. So when we are ignoring the actual truth, when we are actually ignoring everything that we are of, everything that we are, so that is when we malfunction our body in the opposite direction with the half knowledge. So when this is all happening, how can you expect your body to be fit? Half of the time, half of our life, we are completely unaware of what we actually are. So how dangerous is this? We don't know completely about ourselves. So when we don't know, how can we just be on the path? How can we just do things for ourselves with the half knowledge? So it's just that based on our knowledge, based on our belief system, our patterns, experiences, we choose our next steps. We choose our next situations in our life, scenarios in our life. people. And that is how we choose. So it's just that the way you understand and the way you begin to live. So it's just that this is the greater fact. If you understand that why your body is a divine space, because it has an infinite power. The infinite power is you. So what is that infinite power? Your soul. So there is a famous god from India, from Maharashtra, I guess. So Dattatreya Swami. So if you have heard about him, he had been, just ejected, or I think we can say that in this way, that he transformed himself and released 8 bodies. So he was present in 8 different places at a time in the single moment. So how is this even possible? The same with Mahavatar Babaji. See, today in this world, especially in our PSSM, so there are many sessions going on with many different masters in PMC, in many different languages of PMC. So every master is connected to set of masters, right? So if we can just see or consider that today we have invited here 40 members or 50 members together, we have invited Mahavatar Babaji. So at least for 10 of us, least count, at least for 10 of us, we might have connected to that power, to that source. So how is that even, how is that even possible? That one body is allowing themselves to connect to 10 different bodies. So how is this happening? So it's just that how you reached your pure consciousness, and that easy it is for us to release bodies, how many ever we want. So once you understand that you have a body, and behind it, how many bodies, and who is making these bodies, and how are these actually releasing into these many numbers? Your superpower, and that is you. So that is why we call this as a so precious thing, a divine space, which needs only devotion. So it's just that we cannot malfunction our body, either mentally or physically, either of them. So this is the third jewel. And the next one is jewel 4. So breath is our boss. So this is the most beautiful fact. To experience everything in life, to see everything in positivity, to make positivity as your lifestyle. And especially if you choose to see your life new every second, you can only do that with your breath. Breath is the only source which helps you, which takes you to a very different path, something which you have never seen before. Every second it's new, every situation it's new. To begin with your experiences, we have to begin with our breath. So this is the jewel 4th, to see your superpower, to see your Atma, and to understand that you are your Atma and you are a divine space. That can only happen once you are aligned with your breath. If you just see some person, for example, there are multiple different departments in an engineering college, different departments. So computer science student cannot understand mechanical engineering subject. But if he does sadhana, he can understand. If he goes and takes that course later on after his computer science, and then that is when he can understand. So it's just that matter of sadhana. So breath is our boss. And next is all about you understand that breath is your boss. Then after understanding what you have to do. So samayame sadhana. So it's just that time is to invest in your thirst. Time is everything. Actually, in this materialistic world, in this reality on this earth, we say time is money, because money is the most precious thing that we measure. So that is how we compare it, right? Time is money. So it's just that sadhana. You understand that breath is your boss, but are you really investing on this planet Earth? Can you tell me how are we measured? Every person is measured with their lifespan, ages, numbers. This is just time passing on. Time passing on, days passing on, weeks, months, and years. Overall, it's time. So on this planet, we are measured with time and space. So time is the most important thing that we are provided with. Only important thing that we are provided with. So every second, all you have is your freedom. Everything, because no one is coming into your mind and seeing that what you're thinking to do, what you're deciding to do. So I think that is why we actually keep our mind so clumsy. So here in this Jowl file, they are telling us that breath is our boss. So using our breath, utilizing the ultimate source for most of the time that we have. So it's just based on the thirst. You tune yourself to be with your breath, and then you understand how much you need this. So for most of the people, if you just practice it for 1 hour in a day, sometimes it is not sufficient. Sometimes it is sufficient. So it's just that after tuning, it's all the time you invest. So it's just that a dedication and a devotion. So just investing in something you want, something you desire, and you have the horrible thirst. So if you really start understanding the essence of your breath, what best it can do, and that is when you start going behind your thirst. Consistently, you make yourself sit and start doing sadhana. Just close your eyes, watch your breath. That's it. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Unless and until it becomes your lifestyle. So end point is making the sadhana as our lifestyle. So it's just that time, every second, most of us end up in thinking, we lose our time in thinking. Whatever situations we come across, whatever people we come across, everything, we just ignore time based on the intensity. The time gets faded away. The intensity gets popped up. We go behind the things, but we never understand the facts behind our bodies, and especially the most important source as a time. So it's always very important to validate every second. Are you really doing or no? So here they just say is samayame sadhana. So how much of time you invest, and that best benefits you reap. So I'll tell you one of my experience. So in the initial days when I was practicing meditation, it was just that sometimes I feel like sitting for hours together, and sometimes I don't really feel like sitting in meditation at all. I forcibly make myself sit, but and that happens, and I just start feeling that is it really necessary now? But still, I used to make myself forcibly sit, at least sit and close my eyes. And after 5 or 10 minutes, you don't believe this, automatically I used to start observing my breath. And the process again used to get started so interestingly again. So it's just that whenever we feel that we don't feel like doing, it's just that we are too deep and too far away from our consciousness, from our awareness. We are very far, we are completely onto the materialistic line. So we are not on the middle path. We are completely onto the bottom side of it, to this a realistic world. So when that is happening, and that is when we have to understand, and this is the time really we have to make ourselves know that how important it is this time. So what happened when I started feeling that? For some days I was like, I didn't know the fact why this was happening. So I was like, okay, probably I started feeling I don't need it now. So that's okay. I'll not do it today. So, but I've started seeing things getting uncertain. So that is when one of my guru, I asked that when I just spoke to him, I asked him that, Guruji, this is what it is happening with me. I'm meditating. Whenever I'm meditating, I'm feeling so peaceful, so energetic, and I feel everything is with me. But after some time, maybe the next couple of days, when I don't feel like doing, I feel like something is missing in my life. Though I have everything going on pace, and I don't feel that I am on the right path. I am on the right levels of energy. Then he said, if you do something continuously, you keep getting things continuously. If you do it discontinuous, if you do it, now and then, and you reap benefits now and then. You want it daily, do it daily. So that is how he started explaining me. And that's the best thing I loved. You do it daily, you get it daily. So it's always that the way we arrange our time, every person, and this is a famous saying from the every inspirational person or motivational speaker, that every person on this planet have the same 24 hours, though it's Narendra Modi or though it's Joe Biden. Everyone has 24 hours. And in this 24 hours, every minute, a person either becomes, maybe above the level or below the level. And you see, just in this minute, most of the people, some set of people reap benefits, some set of people, are into success, some people are into failures, some people are into suffering. So why not everyone are onto the same pace? Why everyone is scattered in their own ways? This is what it clearly says, that we all have, we all have our minds, and sorry, so we all have our minds, and different minds, every mind is unique. How are our minds unique? It's just based on the free will we have. Sorry, based on the free will that we wish to choose things, we wish to take steps ahead, we wish to act, we wish to make relationships. So it's just that based on everyone's choices. So success people, the set of successful people, they are just in whichever domain they are, whichever departments they are, or professions they are. So it's just that the way they are organizing their mind, end of the day, it's same. So it's just that you organize your mind to utilize your time. So when everything is aligned, everything is on pace. So this is the fifth Javan. And yes, this is the Javan sixth. So if you really have to be with the time, what happens? Sahaname Pragati. Sahaname Pragati in Telugu and English, it's sustaining is progress. So I felt Sahanam is actually, we say it patience, but I say it's sustenance. I say it's sustaining. Because the way you sustain, and that is how you can start seeing your progress. So here, what happens from the Javal fourth, where breath is our boss, from there, our life has started becoming adventurous. Everything is spontaneous, everything is new, but we are ready for everything. Very fearless, very selfless, no identities. So it's just that this is what something you really have to first make sure that you're doing this for yourself. Is this the way that you're behaving with yourself? That is all we have to check. So here, to progress our lives in the same way, in the same beautiful way, so it's just that sustaining is important. Sustaining with the process to make it go further, a step further every time. So when you are not sustaining, when you are not with the patience, when you are not with the equal dedication or devotion, it's just that in sustenance, you take a step ahead. In the not sustaining state, you take two steps behind. So this is where I think I've heard there is a famous saying from Yogi Vemana, Pattu Pattaradu, Pattina Pattu Vivaradu. And the same saying was even told by Gautam Buddha, that if you start, you don't have to stop. If you don't want to start, you shouldn't start it at all. So you are starting it, sustain with the process. When you hold your identity, when you're completely with this materialistic world, and that is when you lose your higher capabilities, the knowledge about your higher capabilities. And that is when you start getting egoistic, start getting selfish, start getting full fearful, like all the time being behind and protecting yourself. No matter what, the words we release it out so sweet, but end of the day, deep inside we know that we have to protect ourselves. No matter what the other person is dealing with. And the next one, Jabal 7, is experience is wisdom. So the sixth one, yep. So Jabal 7th is experiences is wisdom. So this is so common, right? Experiences is wisdom. So we understand. After this sadhana we did, the next thing comes is experiencing. So in experiencing, all we have to do is, okay, so there is an important point that I would like to share here. So we actually practiced in our meditation that just now, our heart chakra, whenever we are raising our heart chakra, lightening it up, and that is where what happens is our heart chakra is completely based on theoretical knowledge. So if you are fully with the theoretical knowledge, you know everything, that there is a soul, that there is a superpower, and you are this, you are that, and you know all the hidden facts and the actual truth about yourself. But you're not letting yourself allowing to experience things or allowing yourself completely to be open or you're not allowing yourself to apply it in this regular daily day-to-day life. So here what this says today, we see many great people, many great grandmasters, our Guru Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji Garu. So it's just that for till date, all the experiences that he had been through, that is all his wisdom, right? He had started experiencing things in this physical world, in the dimensional world. So here there is a hidden fact that these bodies, our physical body, is nothing but matter. So we are all from space. In space, there is energy. The energy together functioning makes all the matter. And the matter is assembled together as this big matter, this big physical body. And end of the day, we again go back into the energy, into the space. So it's just that oneness to duality, duality to oneness. So in this process, all we need is our experience. How adventurous we are, that beautiful we can experience. So for all the people here back in India, we have a very great saying, Dhairye Sahase Lakshmi. I think in Hindu scriptures, we find this, right? So it's just that how fearless you are, how adventurous you are. That is how you start receiving abundance in life. Not just the prosperity, not just the wealth, everything. You need something, and that is available for you in the right time. So it's just that matter of having a desire, and it is coming and falling in front of you. So it's just about the experiences. So most of us, what we do, we are scared of experiences. We choose in experiences, right? Most of the time, based on the fear we have deep in our hearts all the time. So we are always scared. We don't let it out because of our ego, because of our identity. But deep in there's a lot of fear. And this is something from the subject of new energy. The Jack has a lot of fear at the wall of fire. So it's just that the soul coming into the world, to this world, that is when it was fully filled with the fear. And the fear has not been vanished yet because ignorance of truth, lack of providing yourself the actual truth. So when it is coming to the experiences, we always keep ourselves engaged in infinite thinking, and from that infinite thinking, so it's always that in the infinite thinking we start losing ourselves. So why do we think so much? Because we always want the best. We always want the best, but we always never act the best, right? Act is not something that the pictorial act, but something called karma. The action, the every step we are doing, the everything we are doing is an act. So it's just that the way we are adventurous, the way we are letting ourselves to just go break the walls and then start acting. But most of the time in thinking, in choosing, because we always want the best for ourselves, we end up in undecidable state. So that's the most, for me, it's the most irritating state, undecidability. Whenever I end up myself in undecidability, I understand that yes, my energy is not here. My awareness is not here. Everything is scattered in its own direction. So I have to gather everything back. So when that is happening, when you are in undecidable state, you stop your experiences. You stop acting. You stop your life going ahead. Life becomes stagnant. Lack of courage. To be frank, once I've started my spiritual journey, really, and this is my real experience, okay? So I think in one of the Dhyana Mahachakram in India, back in India in Hyderabad, that is when I have met Patriji in my bachelor's fourth year. So that is when I met him actually. And that is when I was ready to be preached. There is a saying, when student is ready, teacher arrives. Yes, I have been following, I have been doing it since my third standard, and everything has become so normal for us. Because for me, my parents itself started making it a habit for me. Spiritual knowledge is something we need. So they never said no. So they both were the ones. They took me to Patriji, and that is when they actually told me that he's your guru and he's our guru, and this is what it is. The first thing when I spoke to him or said hello, that he said that all you need is courage. The first thing he told me, that abhayam, so no fear. So when you are completely fearless and all the abundance is with you, abundance in terms of wisdom, abundance in terms of knowledge, abundance in terms of prosperity, wealth, everything. So that was the first message he gave me. And that is when my journey has actually started. So it's just that for us, I would, I just want to give it out that this is most important. Most of us, we never realize because we never sit with ourselves and talk to ourselves. That what is stopping within us. But deep in there is a lot of fear. If you go through the subject called new energy, you understand that how much fear we actually have. So it's all about, if you are fearless, if you are adventurous, you can start experiencing number of situations, number of people, everything, like Patriji, like Gautam Buddha, like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa. So it's just that all the great people, they are fearless, they are adventurous. So in the given time, in the given space, all you have to do is capture as many as experiences you can. Gain knowledge. Because it's just that there is an example for this, that see, you're sitting here, I'm sitting here in United States and just thinking about that I have come here 4 years back, and I see there are a lot many changes. I'm basically from Hyderabad, so I keep seeing it in pictures in social media that Hyderabad has changed a lot. I can just see, but I'm unable to experience, so I don't know how it actually feels like. So I can just say so theoretically. So when you are with your heart, you're all theoretical. When you actually raise yourself with all the light and you raise it to your Agna chakra, with your sadhana, with your time, as much as you said, you raise yourself, you raise your vibrations. So when it goes to your Agna chakra, when you are in Agna chakra, everything becomes practical. Everything, nothing theory. So that is when your experiences start. So with your experiences, you gain knowledge, you gain wisdom. So when you have everything and you know where to act, where to enact, and now everything seems to be easy for us. It's just like bread and butter. So the next one is dhaname dharmam. So you have did sadhana and you have gained a lot of knowledge. So it's always sharing is caring, right? That is all we actually hear. But sharing is supreme. That's the most selfless act we can do. So it's just, it can be anything. You have something good for you, then definitely you deserve to help. You help someone, you get help from someone. So there is a good saying about this. Gautam Buddha says, be light unto yourself. But his wife, dearest wife Yashodhara says, sometimes we need light of others and sometimes others need light of ours. How beautiful is this? So always sharing is righteousness. Sharing is dharma. Share your knowledge. Share your experiences. There are many people in this world, many different minds, many different life consciousness, levels of consciousness. Altogether, we make one. But in different bodies, different representations, different organizing. So it's just that you can learn. Share and learn, share and learn. That is what even our guru keeps telling. If you're in an auto, if you're on a bus, no matter what, start telling them your experiences. Start listening to their experiences. You understand. And I could say, listen to experiences and then start sharing your experiences. You listen to experiences, that is when a mustard seed woman, Kisa Gautami so called, and she's the woman who goes to Gautam Buddha and asks about her son, death of her son. So she asks him that, can you do something better for my situation right now? Can you get my baby born life back? So he says, go to every door and ask for mustard seeds where they had no death. She goes all around and ends up with no mustard seeds. And that is when she realizes, after listening these many stories, going to each door, she understands that death is everywhere, suffering is everywhere, and every person is going through something. Every person is learning something. So that is when she asked Buddha that, you're so in a blissful state. How do I attain this state? What should I do? Teach me. Now I will accept this fact that my son is no more. But I want to be like you. So that is when he shares his knowledge to her. And that is how today in this world, the story of Princess Yashodhara is still alive just because of her. And she was the one who passed it on to the next generations. So it's just that how inspiring it is. That is how we understand the possibilities we have, what best a man can do. So the next one, the last one, dharma me punyam. So the righteousness is the only path. So I don't use the word blessing, but it's just that righteousness. Your lifestyle has to be that. All the positivity. So when everything is in positivity, life becomes one. Whatever situations you go through, no matter how negative they are, it's all about how you allow yourself to receive them, to perceive them. So if you actually uh, think narrow, if you actually let yourself to see things in narrow, so that is when you allow yourself to perceive in such a way. If you are selfless, if you are just open and accepting the fact however it is, then that is how you are open. And that is how you're perceiving it into yourself. So it's just that knowing these many things, still do we deserve to keep all the dirt within us. So when we know what righteousness is, when we know what is the right path, so it's just that Punyamu is a word, I can explain it in a much more better terms. So there are two terms, right? Again, duality, Punyamu and Papamu, right? Punya and Pap. So it's just that here, Punya is something that the result of our act. Even Pap is also the result of our act. So what happens is, Punya is just something, no wasting time. Pap is always wasting time. So here what happens is, when you are getting good results, do you really have to go back and study the same subject over and over again? No. So when you end up with Pap, you have to go back and read the same subject again and again. A lot of time waste, energy waste, everything waste. So it's just that righteousness. That's it. The results of it. Once you understand how these things are working, it's very easy for us to be on this path, to be on the righteous path. Dharma is righteousness, right to act. So it's just that the result, how are we maintaining the result? Are we actually succeeding this or no? So it's just that this helps us to see what kind of experiences we are going through. See, even our guru says all the time that we never have to let ourselves go through the same experiences again and again. Every time it should be a new experience. So initially it's little hard to tune ourselves. Definitely it's little hard because this is completely from this materialistic world, and we really feel this is a very different world with very different terminology, and everything is like divine. But still, that is what it is. Sustainability. Sustaining with the righteousness. Always. That's the only choice we have. To make the best things out of ourselves. Because always we want the best, right? So do we understand that how can we do best? Punya is just the best results, the positive results. All the dharma, the same, I can tell it here. The difference between Rama, Lord Rama, and Ravana. Both are in the path of dharma, but the results. So both equally did sadhana, both are equal, but the choices, the experiences. So it's just that when you start ignoring one thing, it's all connected to one another, and everything seems to be blocked. You ignore one thing, you fade away one fact. Every next other facts are faded away. Everything is disorganized. So I really feel that always it is important, and these 9 jewels were so beautiful. Let us see what are all the 9 jewels once again. So Atmaya Parabrahmam. So this is a very beautiful thing. It's just that you have a supreme power within you. And next to one is you are God. So there is a good saying by Jesus Christ that the God in you is the God in me. The Father in you is the Father in me. So it's just that we are all gods. And the man here on this planet, this living being with a human body, human vessel, is a god. So next, where God can live, where God actually stays, where do we see the idols of gods? In a temple. So temple is a divine space. So it's just that our body is also a divine space, but we are not letting it to be. And the next one, breath is our boss. This is the most important thing. Says this is just like our heart chakra. Either you go up or you go down. You function it properly. That's the middle point. And you connect your heart with your breath. Right? So it's just that breath is the only source. And if you actually see and validate that breath is the only new source that is actually flowing into your body, everything is stagnant. If breath doesn't come from out, oxygen, in this space, if you don't consume oxygen from this outer world, apart from your body, into your body, what happens? Everything becomes stagnant. No blood circulation, nothing, no energy flow. It's just that we are dead, right? No breath is death to this physical body, no functioning of this body, right? So just the way breath is the only thing, only infinite new source entering into our body. So with every breath, we actually wish to choose our lives. Every time it's new. So the next one is samayame sadhana. Time has to be invested efficiently, only for your desire and thirst. And next, sahaname pragati. Sahaname pragati is sustainability is progress. The way you sustain, that beautiful, you can see your progress. If you don't sustain, if you keep giving up, so it's just that you're not fit for it. You're losing faith on yourself. And the next one, experiences wisdom. So it's just that the way you are ready to dive into this ocean, to dive into this world and start experiencing most beautiful things that you can. That all turns up after a point when the time has passed, becomes your wisdom. And the next one, dhanam dharmam. And it's all sharing is your supreme thing. And in this age, in this era, Aquarian's age of 2020 till 2044 is all about knowledge sharing. All the star seeds, all the light workers, it's all about knowledge sharing. If you see something happening too efficiently in this world, too much is all about knowledge sharing. Right? Especially from 2020, it's all about the knowledge sharing that's happening. And if you want to know about this fact, there is a book called Aquarian's Age, Light Workers Gift, Aquarian's Age of 2022 till 2044. So they just say that in this duration, wherever the souls are there, ready for enlightenment, they start their progress, they start awakening. And the next one is dharma me punyam. So it's all about the righteousness, the way, the results you want it to be, and that is how you need to act. And yep, these are the 9 jewels, and all we got to, and I got to end up saying is start being adventurous. Don't fix yourself to some particular things. Unless and until you be adventurous, you can't see anything. And that is what the only message I got from my guru. So I only follow that. I keep doing that. No matter in the physical world or no matter in your dimensional world, either of them. Start going beyond the lines. And that is when you can see what is on the other side. So, yep, we're done. Thank you.